Celtics minus 190 to win the East. Heat plus 160 there. Let's go to that showdown contest for tonight. It's going to be Game 5. It's in Miami. Jimmy Butler is going to cost you the most in the captain spot, 16-8. Then you got Tatum, Brown, and Adebayo before we get into a long list of questionable players. Who is your favorite choice for captain, Jules?
Yeah, I mean, the injury list in this game is ridiculous, and it's not just the Heat rolling out a, an injury report that's all garbage. There's a lot of guys that are actually have their status up in the air for this game, particularly Lowry and Hero. So, and on the Celtics side, it wouldn't surprise me if Marcus Smart or Robert Williams played or didn't play. I think they're both genuinely questionable. So we have that going on. If you believe our friends here in Boston over at the Sports Hub, who we have some shows with DraftKings, they seem to think that a couple of Heat players did not make the trip back to Miami due to COVID, which Ira Winderman, beat reporter for the Heat, shot down, but didn't completely close the door. I don't know what's going on there or not, but there might be more news to come on this game. So it makes it really difficult. Long story short, it's really hard to do anything until we know the list. But I'll say, fading Jimmy Butler is a definite. He looked awful coming off of the knee injury that cost him the second half, so him being the most expensive player doesn't make sense to me. I would captain Bam Adebayo if Rob Williams were to sit and look for that bounce-back game with him, especially with Butler not being 100%. Otherwise, I would just look to go Tatum or Brown.
Okay, how cautious? You obviously have to be cautious here, Nick, when it comes to building out this lineup tonight. But right now, from what we know, who is your captain going to be?
Right now I'm leaning toward Tatum. I think Julian's on the right track about Jimmy Butler. I mean, there's a case to be made here that we just never really know what any of these injury statuses mean. The Heat especially have been throwing out these phantom injury reports really since the beginning of the playoffs. And obviously Butler is truly injured. He missed the second half of Game 3, looked awful in Game 4. It wouldn't shock me if he came out and had a good game in Game 5. I still wouldn't captain him. I'm not necessarily against throwing him in the lineup, almost as like a reverse psychology contrarian play. Jimmy Butler is almost never somebody who you'd say is contrarian, but given the situation, I think a lot of people are going to be of the same mind as Julian and I when it comes to his status. So I'm looking at Jason Tatum at captain. You could still fit a build where you get Adebayo in your lineup, you get Jaylen Brown in your lineup, Victor Oladipo, who's at 5,600 in a non-captain spot. I kind of like him again. And then, you're looking at a couple bottom of the barrel options, but not too low. You're not talking guys who might not play. Like, you could still fill out your roster with like a Gabe Vincent and a Derek White, guys who we know are going to have roles for these teams.